right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Rainy night. It's soggy now, but changes come in time for the weekend if tonight's rain moves out before Friday morning's rush hour.
Our top story: beaten, held captive, and forced to work.
They beat them with their fists, they stomped on them, they kicked them.
3 men are now charged. Tonight, team coverage at the tip that led police to a St. Charles County home and the victim's cries for help that went unheard until now.
Saying that he was being abused, and if anyone said anything, they would kill his parents in India.
The victim was rescued yesterday at a home in Defiance, Missouri. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. It's a story we first broke last night at 10. This is exclusive video of one of those 3 men being taken into custody yesterday afternoon. Investigators say he promised to sponsor his 20-year-old cousin, a college student from India. Instead, he and 2 others are accused of extreme abuse, starvation, and human trafficking. Brent Solomon kicks off our team coverage tonight with more on the tip that brought investigators to that home and the influential business and political ties of the main suspect. Brent?
Mike, this case came to light when someone saw the victim at a restaurant and noticed something wasn't right. That person gave the victim his number. A few days later, the man reached out saying he needed help. Police got involved and learned the 20-year-old endured humiliation for months. Only 5 on Your Side is there as police take 37-year-old Venkatesh Reddy Saturu into custody. He's considered the ringleader in a brutal human trafficking case out of Defiance. He, along with these men, 27-year-old Nikhil Pinmatsa and 23-year-old Sarben Penumecha, now accused of horrifying crimes.
They beat them with their fists, they stomped on them, they kicked them. They beat him with a electrical wiring that they had put together in order to beat him. They beat him with PVC pipes. They forced him to sleep in the basement, of unfinished basement. They starved him.
The 20-year-old victim came to St. Charles County from India on a student visa under the impression he'd attend college. Instead, he was held captive and forced to work for free while being given very limited food. According to documents we obtained, the victim was locked in an unfinished basement and had to plead to be let out. The victim was observed trembling uncontrollably, heavily scarred and swollen, with bruises covering all parts of his body, from his hairline to his feet.
So Saturu would actually sometimes call the other 2 defendants in this case and have him beat him over a live feed to him so that he could watch it. And if he didn't hear the guy, our victim, in screaming in enough pain, he would have him beat him harder.
The victim never went to police. He was told if he said a word, his family in India would be killed. Now he's safe and on the road to recovery.
We took him to the hospital where he is confined as we speak now. He's still hospitalized from his injuries. He has numerous broken bones in his hands, in his fingers, in his toes, broken ribs, broken nose.
Court documents suggest the suspects are wealthy. The ringleader has an IT company and is believed to have major political connections overseas. One website describes him as a warrior with what the U.S. Library of Congress describes as a centrist nationalist political party. The site says Saturu formed and runs a task force to protect people from a previous Indian regime.
This troubling case has gripped many in the tiny community of Defiance.
Robert Townsend continues our team coverage with new information he's learned from neighbors tonight.
This is one of the St. Charles County homes where these 3 men are accused of assaulting, torturing, and holding a 20-year-old man captive in the basement for months.
It always seemed like the house was abandoned. There's never anybody there that you can tell.
The house on Highway D is right next door to a daycare center and down the street from the Double D Market and Gas Station in Defiance.
Yeah, I think it's crazy because I would never think anything like that would happen out here.
Chris Dool is a clerk at the gas station. He says in the past week, the male victim came to their business a couple of times.
He was skinny, looked like he hadn't been fed, and over a year almost.
Duel says he and his co-workers gave the man free food. A few days later, he returned.
He looked calm, but a little scared. He had a bloodshot eye. I believe he drove up here.
Duel tells me the victim came inside their store on Saturday night. He says he walked in, bought a sandwich, and then left. He also says the man was by himself. Did he say anything?
All he said is he asked if I can help him with some food.
Chris cannot forget the chilling chat the guy police found on Wednesday had with his coworker.
That he was being beaten and no one was allowed to say anything, otherwise they would kill his parents in India.
Really surprised to hear that. It's kind of unbelievable.
In Defiance, Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
And a local group that works with children who've experienced all types of trauma says the citizen who noticed something wasn't quite right with the victim and contacted authorities did the right thing. The Child Advocacy Center says our inclination is to believe the good in people, but if you see certain signs of abuse, your gut is usually right.
A lot of times we say look for those things that might make someone vulnerable, because what we know in trafficking situations that those that are doing the trafficking are exploiting those vulnerabilities and making those individuals filling that need, filling that void for them so that they can ultimately exploit them in whichever way they choose to do so.
And Robin says some of the more outward signs would be if a person has injuries they're trying to hide or a certain demeanor. She adds most of the trafficking cases they encounter involve victims who know or are related to the abuser. 5 on Your Side was the first to break this story and will continue to bring you the latest developments both on air and on KSDK.com and the 5 on Your Side app.
Right now, a soaking rain is falling on St. Louis and causing slick roads. Here's a look about 30 minutes ago of a crash along westbound I-64 near Boyle Avenue in the Central West End. At least 2 people were hurt. This is one of several crashes tonight. The rain is falling across the entire region tonight, but will it be done by the time you wake up in the morning? Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking the timing in his Weather First forecast.
You know, the timing on this, Mike, has been generally favorable. The heaviest rain held off until after the evening rush hour, of course, but we did have some accidents and still do have a few scattered around the region as folks don't necessarily reduce their speed as they should on those wet roads right now. So you're looking at it, Lambert. A few flight delays. Certainly that potential exists here through the evening because this is a pretty widespread area of rain, not just for us, but it stretches all the way down to the Gulf Coast. We do have rain across most of the metro area here into North St. Louis County, back into St. Charles. You're looking at a fairly steady, mostly light rain. We've had about 1/4 of an inch in St. Louis proper, but there have been spots with a little more, and there is more on the way. See this area down towards Rolla, it is increasing. So as we head through the remainder of the evening and overnight hours, another widespread batch of rain coming through. The thing is, the back edge of that steadier rain should be lifting out of here early tomorrow morning. So most of tomorrow morning's rush hour doesn't have a lot of steady rain, but maybe just some scattered sprinkles and some areas of drizzle and such. We'll see in a few minutes. We'll talk more about the weekend and the changes coming this weekend, Mike.
And remember, you can get the Weather First forecast anytime. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355 and we'll send it straight to your phone. New tonight, 2 people, including a 15-year-old boy, are recovering after a shooting in North St. Louis. This happened around 4:30 this afternoon on North Kings Highway near Thekla. A 35-year-old woman was shot in the chest. She was taken to the hospital. Her condition is not known. The teen suffered a graze wound. We're still working to find out what led to the shooting or any arrests.
Just hours from now, changes are coming to medical care at the City Justice Center. The City of St. Louis has signed a 1-year emergency contract with the nonprofit Physicians Correctional USA. The contract goes into effect tomorrow. The city is suing the jail's previous health care provider, Horizon, which filed for bankruptcy. The change comes in the wake of 3 inmate deaths in recent months and a push for more oversight at the jail.
Financial problems have been rumored for weeks at Fontbonne University, and tonight the university is announcing major cuts.
This includes faculty, staff, and degree programs. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barcheski is here to break down what all this means for students. Laura.
Mike and Kelly, Fontbonne announced 21 total degree programs and 19 faculty positions have been cut, but it won't be happening right away. Fontbonne University, St. Louis, and Clayton announced Thursday in a statement it will start cutting degree programs, faculty, and staff positions after the spring semester next year. University President Dr. Nancy Blattner said, quote, "While these adjustments are regrettable, I acknowledge the dedication and contributions of faculty and staff members impacted by these changes. I'm grateful for their unwavering commitment to serve Fontbonne students." The university has just under 1,000 students enrolled, and the university statement says affected students will not be suddenly dropped from their programs. They'll have individual reviews to decide what's next. Clayton Mayor Michelle Harris says the university has a special spot in Clayton and in her family, as her daughter is a graduate of the social work program, which is one of the programs that will be dropped.
I have complete confidence that Nancy Blattner will be doing the right things in order to ensure the financial security of the university.
The university says the cuts are estimated to save them more than $2 million, but they're currently in the red more than $5 million.
I think everybody is concerned about all these private institutions. We look around us and we look at Webster University and then other institutions that are outside of our city. I know that trends on incoming students are declining, and all of these private universities are going to have to figure it out.
Mayor Harris says the city of Clayton will do what it can to support Fontbonne.
I certainly would welcome those conversations from the university.
A few of the eliminated programs will include art, religious studies, early childhood special education, and global studies. You can find the full list and university statement on our website, ksdk.com.